Hi, my name is Sridhar Rammurthy. I am a management consultant and a corporate training professional. Harvard's great, Kurukshetra awesome. I know it's an odd way to start a TEDx talk. This captures something very important. You don't always need a plan. Sometimes the best thing happens when you flow with life. There are two verses from the Bhagavad Gita that shape this thinking. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. What it means is you have a right to your actions, but not to its fruits. Another one, Nahi jnanen sadrisham pavitram eha vidyate. Nothing is more sacred than knowledge, and in time, all knowledge reveals its worth. This talk is really about that one idea. Learn through whatever comes your way. Don't overplan your life. Collect experiences, take action, and trust that everything you learn will matter someday. I grew up in the north of the country, north of India, and I belong to a South Indian family, and I studied in a South Indian school. You know, very typical, strict discipline, strict teachers, chalk dust, and like every good student, I took science. Not because I loved it, because good students used to take science. My dream was to become a fighter pilot. One shoulder injury, the dream was gone. So I had a plan B to become a commercial pilot. So I cleared my student's pilot license, then learned that the actual cost of becoming one is extremely high. So plan B also crash landed. So my first lesson, you don't always choose your path. Sometimes your path chooses you, and that's okay because flowing with the path teaches you more than resisting it. Okay, plan B. Since flying didn't work out, I drifted into hotel management. If the front lobby is beautiful, the back area is pure chaos. One day I'm folding napkins, the next day someone says, the soup is too hot. I was 20 and thinking, sir, it's soup, it's supposed to be hot. And yes, one day accidentally, I poked the President of the United States. The story goes like this. It was the first visit of a US President to India. We were all huddled up in the hotel for over 5 days to serve him. Loads of hard work, but we never got a chance to meet him. So a request was placed, and the coordinator who obliged us with an opportunity, and he organized the entire meet. So while that happened, I had a strong and genuine desire that I need an autograph, which was against the protocol. In that endeavor, while the president's back was towards me, I happened to tap it. A couple of Secret Service agents pounced onto me and said, "It's not appropriate, sir." Okay, but thank God he smiled and the crisis was averted. When you have a very strong desire, don't overthink. Just do it. Sometimes that's the plan, that's the karma. Okay, and that's the core essence of karmic learning. So from hotels, I drifted into insurance. My mother asked me, hotels, I still understood, but insurance? I told her, Amma, same stress, but different forms. Suddenly, I learned claims, underwriting, what a solvency margin. Then life took a slightly different turn. I was selected for a global program in New York, the only Indian in the batch. Now, a lot of other people in my batch had theories and frameworks, but I had real stories. Okay, real angry families shouting over me. I'm trying to manage their customer services. So degrees can give you direction, but experiences gives you that whole fundamental direction. So after working for over 25 years in hospitality, insurance, leadership roles, I did something very strange. I resigned just to think, and not for a new job, not for burnout, but to understand my own journey. During this pause, I drifted back to my childhood epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata. As a kid, they were Sunday entertainment, but as an adult, they became manuals for my life. Psychology, ego, ethics, duty, mistakes, emotions, strategy. For some important questions. Why did Rama banish Sita? Why did Yudhishthira claim everything that he had? Why did Karna have to choose the wrong side? These weren't fantasies. They were real leadership case studies. And without knowing it, I had absorbed them over decades. This is what I call karmic learning. Life teaches you quietly when you are not even paying attention. So think of your mind as a magnet. Every experience sticks to it. You know, a compliment that someone gives you, a failure in a project, a loss, a new job, a tough conversation with your boss or stakeholders, a good book that you read, a random article, a moment of courage that you show, a moment of fear. You don't plan any of these experiences, they just happen. You flow into them. But a magnet only collects, it does not guide. When I finally paused and reflected, the magnet turned into a compass, and the compass points to your true direction. But it only reveals itself when you trust the flow. And that clarity came from one question: what is this teaching me? And not, why is this happening to me? And there are umpteen number of examples. For example, a delayed promotion. Earlier I'd asked, why me? Subsequently, I asked, what is this teaching me? It taught me patience and preparation. A failed project. Not who is to be blamed, but what does this show me about planning? A failure becomes your true teacher. A tough boss. Now, instead of complaining, I asked, what leadership qualities should I avoid? Instant clarity. When you flow with life instead of fighting it, every experience becomes wisdom. Now, there are three habits that I like to emphasize on. They may sound a little philosophical, but in reality, it's very practical. It comes down to three habits that one can really practice on a daily basis. Let me walk you through them again, but this time with a little bit more color. Now, before I go into these three habits, let me clear one thing. Because I know someone in this room is already thinking, does going with the flow mean that I shouldn't plan anything? Should I not choose a course or prepare for a career? Not at all. Going with the flow doesn't mean drifting aimlessly. It simply means don't force a direction that life clearly isn't opening up for you. Going with the flow doesn't mean you don't plan. It means you don't cling to your plan. You still choose a course, you build your skills, you prepare for a career, but you also stay open to learning from unexpected places and opportunities. It's not non competitive at all. If anything, it makes you more adaptive and future ready. Plan with intention, but move with flexibility. So, the number one habit: absorb like a sponge, especially the unexpected, unplanned stuff. We often hear, stay focused, stick to your plan. But in my own experience, the most interesting and useful learnings never came from a plan. They came from detours. Think about it. Some of the most important skills in your life, like handling conflict, reading people, staying calm under pressure, weren't taught in school. You pick them up from a difficult group project, a stressful job, a breakup, reading a random book, maybe a tough day at work or at your school, or even a YouTube rabbit hole at 2 a.m. Life basically threw these at you, and you absorbed them without realizing. Now, I call these accidental lessons, and in my case, my flying dream collapsing taught adaptability. Hotels taught me people sense and also the ability to smile under pressure. Insurance taught me systems thinking and ethics. My toughest boss taught me how not to lead. None of this was ever planned, but all of it became part of my inner toolkit. So the first habit is simple: don't resist what life is bringing you. Absorb it, store it, it will make sense one day. No learning goes waste, not even the completely random ones. Let's come to habit number two. Don't chase instant results. Focus on the next right action. We live in the age of refreshing the inbox, refreshing Instagram, LinkedIn. Refresh your expectations. We want replies in 10 seconds, results in 10 days, careers in 10 months. But real growth is slow, it's layered and invisible while it's happening. When you stop obsessing about outcomes, two things happen. Your mind becomes lighter because you're not running behind something that isn't in your control. Your actions become sharper because your energy is going into effort and not anxiety. Think of a potter working with clay. If he keeps checking, will this vase be perfect? Will it sell? Will people like it? The clay will collapse. But when he focuses only on the next movement of his hands, he creates something beautiful. It's the same with us. There were so many times in my career when I wanted something right now, like a promotion, a project, a result. And life said, not yet. The moment I stopped chasing and started focusing on the next action, things started moving again. So, habit two is this: action over anxiety, process over pressure. Do what's in front of you fully. The result will come when they are supposed to. Habit number three: trust timing and keep a calm mind. Life reveals meaning later. This is really the hardest one. We humans want to control timing. I should have achieved this by 25 years of age. I should have settled by 30. This opportunity should have come now. But life does not care about our timelines. It has its own rhythm. And when something doesn't happen when we want it to, we panic. Let me share something personal. Every major opportunity in my life, from the New York program to the various leadership roles that I've held, to writing my own book, to rediscovering the epics, came at completely unpredictable moments. Not when I planned, but when I was ready. And that's the key. Life gives you things when you're ready, not when you're hungry. The Mahabharata story of Yudhishthira at the lake captures this perfectly. His brothers rushed, acted impatiently, and collapsed. He paused, listened, stayed calm, and survived. Calmness is not weakness, calmness is intelligence. When you stay calm, you see options, you think clearly, and you respond instead of reacting, and you trust the bigger picture. Half the problems in our lives come from panicking too early. The other half come from planning too rigidly. Well, habit three is simple: relax the grip, trust the timing. Life always makes sense in reverse. So, summarizing the three habits: number one, absorb everything. Life is constantly trying to teach you something. Act sincerely, don't chase applause, chase effort. Trust timing. Let life unfold without fear. If you practice just these three habits, life stops feeling like a race and starts feeling like a river, always moving ahead, always teaching, always flowing in the right direction. Well, Harvard gives structured learning. Kurukshetra gives real learning. Your everyday life, your struggles, surprises, successes, failures. That is your real curriculum. So, yes, Harvard is great, but Kurukshetra, well, Kurukshetra is absolutely awesome because it teaches you the one thing no plan ever can: how to grow through whatever comes your way. Thank you, and I hope you really benefited.